On day one of the Synod's working sessions, the Vatican's doctrinal chief shut down speculation about further theological study into the possibility of women being ordained as deacons. The head of the Vatican's dicastery for the doctrine of the faith, Cardinal Victor Manuel Fernandez, made the announcement on the Synod's first official working day. Fernandez stated in part that the dicastery judges that there is still no room for a positive decision by the magisterium regarding the access of women to the diaconate. The Synod's working document reveals that the female diaconate is off the table for official discussion, but that has not prevented the topic from coming up at Vatican press briefings this week.
Even if, as of at the moment, we may not be looking at ordained ministry, I think, you know, what I would say about that is we tend to look at it from the question of can women or can they not be ordained in the church today? And I think we have to look at the question very much from the, you know, the Spirit. Is the Spirit calling women? Because some women do sense a call to priesthood or diaconate.
That was Synod delegate Sister Mary Teresa Barron, who currently leads a Catholic organization representing 600,000 religious sisters from 80 countries. Correspondent Christina Malare has written extensively on this topic for Catholic news agencies. She joins us now from the EWTN Vatican Bureau to discuss. Christina, thank you for joining us. Can you break down, first off, what Cardinal Fernandez said on the onset of the Synod about the possibility of women being ordained as deacons?
Yes, so on the very first working day of the Synod on October 2, he made it quite clear that women do not have access to the diaconate in holy orders. So he did speak about this very clearly. Plus, in addition, he did talk about there needs to be more study into what other ministries women can do and how they can be in positions of responsibility within the Catholic Church. He wanted to divert the attention of people to looking at like a broader way in which women are participating, and not necessarily with the sacrament of holy orders. So, for example, he drew upon the examples of saints are very powerful and influential women throughout history. So, for example, St. Catherine of Siena, St. Teresa of Avila. These are women who had extensive authority in the church. Even to the Pope himself, they've been able to talk to them. So again, this is the direction in which Fernandez would like to draw the conversation. However, as you have mentioned, there are many voices who are participating in the Synod who have very different ideas about this. But it's very clear from Fernandez himself and from the magisterium of the Church, there is a no to women deacons.
And Christina, there is a Synod study group that's focused on the subject of women deacons. What more can you tell us about this group and that group's purpose?
Okay, so this group, it's study group number 5, and they are looking more specifically at the theological and canonical matters regarding ministerial forms within the Church. So under this as well would include women deacons. It's a lot broader, but however, it's very apparent that the topic of women being ordained as deacons is very popular in the media, and as well as among other Catholic circles throughout the world, in different parts of the world. So they are studying a broad range of issues. But in addition to this study group, if we're going to talk more specifically about the issue of women deacons, the Pope has also set up 2 separate commissions to look into this a lot further. But study group number 5 of the Synod on Synodality is looking at this, but there are other issues involved as well, not just women and their access to the diaconate.
Thank you for that clarification. And Christina, I want to take a listen to what Pope Francis told CBS News earlier this year on the topic of women deacons.
I understand you have said no women as priests, but you are studying the idea of women as deacons. Is that something you are open to?
If it is deacons with holy orders, no.
Pretty clear there. Christina, what else has Pope Francis said on this topic? And could it be interpreted by some that by creating these study groups and commissions on women deacons, he's sidelining the issue?
I know that the Pope has received a lot of criticism, particularly even in Belgium and in his last apostolic journey, about what he's had to say about women, and not specifically just about women deacons. However, it's very clear from what the Pope said, he's not sidelining the issue. Number one, he has created 2 separate commissions in addition, which is outside the Synod of Synodality, he's also written about the amazing contribution that women make to the life of the church. So if you look at Evangelii Gaudium, so an apostolic exhortation, he talks about the valuable contribution of women. In addition to that, he's also spoken about women as catechists. Again, this is an instituted ministry within the church, and how women have contributed greatly to that. So it's not so much that the Pope is sidelining the issue. In fact, he is studying it, and he's gotten other people to look at it from a theological point of view, as well as from the canon, looking at it there as well. But I don't think it could be right or accurate to say that the Pope is sidelining the issue. If it's talking about women deacons, I think he's made it very clear.
Very clear. Kristina, we played a clip of a Synod delegate, Sister Mary Teresa Barron, saying some women do sense a call to the priesthood or diaconate. How significant are these comments, and are there other notable comments from other Synod members on this?
This is very interesting. Since the opening of the Synod, there have been daily press briefings. Just to give a little bit of insight without sharing too much with the general public what is happening inside. However, almost every single press briefing has been a comment about women as well as women deacons. You can also see journalists who are present there who are trying to come in and talk about women deacons, but coming in from a different angle. So besides Sister Mary's comments, there's also been some notable comments that have come from prelates. So for example, you had the Australian Bishop Anthony Randazzo, who is representing Oceania, saying that he thinks that we should stop talking about women and start talking with women. So he mentioned that the Pope has already set up this study group. He's already set up these commissions. We need to talk more about ways which women and also lay women can contribute in the life of the church. He had very strong words. He actually said that Catholics have to be aware as well of a possible new ideological colonialism, which focuses on very niche matters. So he's talking, and he's representing a region where maybe the issue of women deacons isn't particularly prominent. And in many cases, and in many countries that are in Oceania, there's a lot of concern more about, say, women, their health, and if they're safe, and making sure that they're not second-class citizens. And he said this is scandalous, that in parts of the world, women are experiencing this sort of discrimination. And he thinks talking about women deacons is not even giving the chance for people to talk about these very real matters.
But could be a distraction.
And women are having to really fight for their lives.
Right, it could be a distraction instead. Kristina, thank you so much for your reporting
and
your
very
time
much a
on
distraction.
this. Yes, thank you.
Okay.